Hello everyone, I got a lot of questions on how I set up my video piano lessons. I want to give you a quick run through on my setup. First program I use, iVcam. This one allows me to use my iPhone as a wireless webcam. So this video you're seeing right here on the screen is being broadcast through my iPhone, and I use it over wireless, so I don't even have to plug in my iPhone, and I can use it as a webcam. It's a really nice program. So get iVcam set up, you install it on your computer, and then you download an app for your phone. Right now I'm using the free version, which is why you see that watermark. I might pay for it and get rid of it. I really like this program. So what we want to do though is just line up the keyboard. We want to see all 88 keys, and we want to have it somewhat square. I know it looks upside down, but we can fix all that. So the first step is just making sure you have a good square view of the top of the keyboard. So once that's all set up, I'm going to open MuseScore, free notation software. I'm sure some of you are already familiar with it. You can set up the score however you want, but for now we're just going to leave it as the default. I'm going to hit the P key, and that brings up our piano keyboard at the bottom. Now I have my keyboard plugged in through a MIDI interface to the computer, so as I play notes, they light up on the keyboard down below. We're going to use that in our stream as well. One thing you want to be aware of is you want to mute the volume of MuseScore, so that way you don't have MuseScore also playing the MIDI output, because I find there's a delay, and if I turn it off you might be able to hear it. If you heard two keyboards there, it's because MuseScore is also playing the MIDI output. So I mute that, and what you're hearing now is just the sound output from my keyboard. I have it running through a little powered speaker. So mute that and make sure whatever you're playing shows up on the keyboard. So now that that's ready, we're going to open up OBS, the Open Broadcast Software. And now I started a blank screen here, so I'm going to show you how I did this, the video I posted yesterday from scratch. Here's what we're seeing, nothing so far. Okay, we got to go to Sources, create a new one. We're going to go to Video Capture Device. Now the first one I'm going to do is my main camera, so I set up main cam. Now this is my regular webcam, not my iPhone. I have this for my main shot. What we're going to do here though is I'm going to do a custom resolution. I want the resolution to be 1080 because that's what it's capable of. It doesn't matter, it's up to you. This is just what I like. But as you can see, we have our main camera set up. Next we want to bring in that overhead, so we're going to add another source. Video capture device, this one we'll label overhead camera. Device, now we're going to find that iVcam, it's right there. Boom, we have it in. Alright, so now we have our second source. We can move it around. We can, whoops, that was the wrong one. Put that back. We can move this around. We can resize this one. But what we want to do is we want to cut out just the keyboard. First I'll go to transform. We're going to rotate 180 degrees. That way the student can see what I'm doing. Then we're going to hold down the Alt key. And with that, if we click here while holding Alt, we can crop out what we want. So we're just going to get that keyboard. Shave a bit off the top. And there we go. I like to leave a little room at the bottom. Students can see the wrists. I think that helps. And I take this, I put it in the top left, and we are going to expand it across the top of our screen. Okay. Drag this down so my head isn't cut off. Oh, we want to make this come all the way out. There we go. Alright. Now we want that bottom keyboard, the MIDI layout, so we're going to go to Sources, Window, Capture. We want to capture the window from MuseScore, so we're going to call this one MuseScore, if I can type. So this is the window capture thing. Window, you can select which one you want. Go to MuseScore, of course. Everything else we'll leave default. We're going to do the same thing we did with our overhead camera, where we crop out just what we want. So holding down Alt and dragging, we can just get the keyboard. and then I put that down here. I like that at the bottom of the screen, so we're going to size that like so. Okay. This we will resize down here. Okay. Right click, transform, center horizontally. So that's kind of the basic setup I have. I really like it. You have the main camera, you can see me. You can also see overhead camera plus the MIDI at the bottom of the screen. Now I never like this black space to my right and left, so you can fill that up with images, whatever image you want. Do that. We go to add source, image. We'll call this right. So I have a nice picture of Thelonious Monk. Okay, we'll bring that in. Now it's a huge image, very high res, so it's taking up the whole screen. There he is. Let's size this thing down. Let's do fit the screen first. Okay. Bring that to a nice size. And then over here on sources, the order is how the layers go, so we bring this layer down. That way, sorry to cut you off, Mr. Monk, we'll get you visible there. Picture him on my right, and on my left, I'd like this image of Martha Argerich sitting at the piano. This one's not as big, I can just kind of drag it down there. Okay, I actually need to make this one a little bit bigger. And then we'll just hide that there. Okay, and that's the basic setup you saw in the video I posted. One cool function of this software is we can go here in the studio mode. Two screens. So what you see on the right is what's actually being broadcast, and over here on the left it's called preview. We can swap things around and it won't change what the student sees. If we just wanted to switch these around, they won't see the changes you make until you hit this button right here called transition, and it fades to our new setup. So let's just set that back. Useful. That back. Transition. Okay, back to normal. And this is really good. Now, say we wanted to have a different screen setup. We want to switch back between really back and forth. We don't want to move all these windows around. We're going to create a new scene. Call this one the score scene, in case you want to show the student Muse score. So again, we're going to go to sources, window capture. And we already have Muse score captured, so we go to add existing. We're going to select Muse score. Okay. And there we go. We got the full thing up there for our viewing pleasure. I still like the overhead cam, so I go back to my main scene. You can just really just copy and paste. There it is. Also, I want to get the bottom keyboard in there too. That way it's not overlapping. Okay. We're going to shrink this down like that. And bring that down like so. Okay. Now your student can see what's going on in MuseScore, and if you just hit transition, you can go to that scene. And then back here on main, if you want to go back, hit transition again. So say you want to show your student something, go to MuseScore. Okay. Play the, C major scale. You can show them the music. And if you go back to OBS, they can see what's going on. That's basically how I got everything set up. Now, if you want to use this through Skype, there's one more step you got to do. You've got to install something called Virtual Cam for OBS. Just Google it and you'll find it. And to turn that on, you're going to go to Tools, Virtual Cam. You'll hit Start. I already have mine running. You'll choose a target camera. It's either just 1 through 4. I'll just choose 1. I like horizontal flip. That works for me. Turn it on or off, just whatever works for you. And then we hit Start. So now, what you're sending out from OBS, you can use in Skype. And I'll show you how to do that right now. Now you want to make sure you have the desktop version of Skype. Because you see here I have two apps called Skype. One with a box logo and one without it. This one with the box logo for some reason doesn't work. So you've got to go to the website and download the desktop version that has this logo. Open up Skype. Okay, so here we have Skype. We're going to go to Settings, Audio Video, Camera. I don't want to use my main webcam. It's not even working because I'm already using it in OBS. So we go to OBS Camera. And there you go. Now you're streaming what you have coming out of OBS through Skype. One more thing to be aware of here, this desktop audio, you're going to want to mute that whenever you're on Skype calls or else you'll create a feedback loop. And that should cover everything. Good luck, guys.